Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new video, and this time I want to talk about an article that have appeared, I think, during this week, and it's about, it's from the 18th of March, and it's about women of Warhammer show us their finest work. And we spoke to female fans about their passion for the game and whether its male-dominated landscape is changing. Okay, let's see. First of all, before going to this article, I think that the target of this game have been historically mainly male, and as well it's sometimes a matter of taste, right? We have a lot of society bias still between women and men, and we know that there are some things that are more appealing to men than women. This is changing over time. We have seen, for example, on football, where we have more and more women representing, soccer for the Americans. So I think this is changing, but I also think that female and male, we have, in general terms, of course there is always people that is not following the general terms, but in general terms we have different interests sometimes, right? And and I guess this is why one of the reasons why we have more male than female, because males feel more interested for this type of hobby than women is. Mainly for society bias, maybe because they are targeting more male than female. I don't know why. I will not. I will let the woman here to talk. But we know that there are more men than women in this hobby. Although I don't think it's because the men are pushing the woman out. So let's start here. Whether you were a nerdy collector, a friend dared you, or it was honest mistake while you were looking for a copy of Call of Duty, you will have been into a Games Workshop store at least once in your life. Chances are, once inside the high street home of Warhammer, you notice it was populated exclusively by men. However, women do play. I spoke to some about the gender split in the world of Warhammer. So let's go to Emily, and this is what she's going to say. For me personally, the main aspect of the hobby that I enjoy is building and painting them and seeing them come to life. So this is quite reasonable, I guess, for most of the people. It's really relaxing as well for me. The Hell Pit Abomination picture below took me a day and a half. I love the look on people's faces when they see these fully painted creatures. It's something that just makes me very excited to continue doing. So she has almost the same type of motivation and the same type of enjoyment than me. So not a weird thing. Just she painted this in 1 day and a half. I guess a lot of hours during these days. But some of the past miniatures and even some of the ones today can cause a problem. The whole culture around this hobby is very male dominated, and I think men can sometimes find it quite difficult to understand what is crossing the line for the female aesthetics. Don't get me wrong, I understand that in the 80s it was all about big bobs, curvy hips, and big ass holding Gatling guns with very little armor. But it's not like that in 2019. If they were just to weak them slightly, if they were just to weak them slightly, I think they'd be more appealing. Whether Games Workshop need to hire more women, where they need to have surveys done by women, I think it will benefit hugely in the long run. Okay, so maybe I see this from the perspective of a man, but I think Games Workshop is not the one that is crossing the line in that case. So what we have in Games Workshop that are female or have the female aesthetic, mainly the high elves, the dark elf or the sisters of Cain in fantasy, but they are supposed to be and then if we look in Warhammer 40k, we can have the witches, but the witches there is a mix of male and female, and both have wearing this type of very nerdy clothes and very little clothes. Yeah, the Sister of Cain is mainly a female. I don't know. I don't think it's pushing this that hard. And we also have seen, for example, the last commissar without the bots plate. But okay, we also have seen hyper-musculated men that does not exist, or they are not, is a stereotype as well, right? We have seen in the Katachan super stereotype musculated men. I would say there is a reflection of the society, and still in the 90s the society have not changed that much. So in the 2000s, I mean, the society today have not changed that much from the 90s in that aspect. We see the superheroes, they also go very tight and all are handsome. So nobody wants to make heroes that are looking bad normally. You can see, and not just the female, also the male, all of them have to be good looking, well musculated, and with a nice body. Let's go to the next one. The next one is for, the lady is called Jasmine. And she's saying, this is my cave drake. I really like the model design as it looks super cool, and it really gave me license to go with any color. The game itself has played a really important role during the hard times of my life, and having that escapism and focus has really helped me personally. I also love how everyone is really accessible and being close to the game's designers, who are often active in fan face groups. Has made me into the great game that is today. Winning the team world championship, winning the team world championship last year was a real highlight for me. And to be fair, I don't know from this looks like more Lord of the Rings. I don't know from what is this dragon. I'm not treated different from men. We are playing the same game and all have the same chances and potential to win. And off the table, I'm treated fairly, have no problems. That said, I will be really nice to have more guys playing. I think I fully agree with this with Jasmine. So I don't think I treat different if it's a man or woman in front of me. I will treat all of them with respect. I will try to play at the same level that the person in front of me wants to play. I think the objective also in a hobby is try to get the enjoyment of both parts, you and your opponent. And I will everybody will love that there is more parity. So Georgie, let's go. I've always loved the fantasy genre of fiction, as well as board gaming. I started Warhammer around 6 months ago, and everyone has been nothing but welcoming, whether in the physical Games Workshop store or through my Instagram account. I've been supported and given great advice from both males and females alike. It can be difficult being female in any male-dominated hobby, but this isn't something I have personal experience. So what I really appreciate, and I think that this makes me very happy, that you feel welcome and you feel supported by all the community. There are a lot of females getting into the hobby too, which is awesome, and there is an incredible supportive female network. Everyone in the community has made me feel accepted, and I haven't felt uncomfortable being female hobbies. So everything positive. I think she's having a great experience on the hobby. She's having good connections, and she's improving the painting. The Nighthound Lord Executioner is the miniature I had the most fun painting. Warhammer is an always fun creativity outlet and something completely different. It's definitely challenging teaching yourself to paint something such a small scale. Okay, so I'm very, very, very glad that she's enjoying the hobby. I'm very, very, very glad that she feels supported, and yeah, I'm always there to support any person that is wants to go into the hobby. Now we go to Nova. The Ultramarine is a model that I finished more recently. I am so proud of him. I have painted a Space Marine in long time, but the skulls for the primaries are fantastic. He was a test of how much detail I could get onto a model. So I spent a week on him. So this is really, and I can appreciate very nice edge highlighting. So it's really a very nicely painted, top-notch Space Marine. I love the competitive side of things, but I guess she's also loving the painting, because the paint job, to do this level of painting, you also need to love the painting. I had a very competitive Blood Angels list. I took 2 tournaments in the 5th edition around 2008. I won a total of 63 wins, 6 losses with that. But still, there are sometimes assumptions that I don't know as much about the hobby, or I'm not as competitive. That usually ends with a people shock faces when I table them on turn 3. Well, and even if it's a man, most of the people will have shock faces if you are tabled in turn 3. But yeah, I try not to underestimate anybody. But I guess we have this bias by experience most of the time, because most of the time we play against men. Sometimes you do get some interesting interactions where I get overshadowed by men's opinion. There is also a lot of assumptions that this isn't a hobby I'd enjoy. So there is also a lot of assumption that this isn't a hobby that I enjoy, even though I'm there enjoying it. Okay, but these discussions are everywhere. Yeah, I think this is some people that is not doing the right thing if they do that. Or from certain members of the hobby assuming your lack of knowledge or lack of ability. You have to get an attitude where it's actually I need to prove this person is wrong. So then maybe the next time this person goes into a situation like this, they won't have the assumption that a woman won't know what she's doing. Yeah. Okay, I understand. But if you come with miniatures painted like that, I will not assume that you don't know about the hobby. This is showing that you have a very good level of painting, and to have this level of painting, you have to have paint a lot. So one thing that I realized, and it's a bias maybe we have, is most of the women that I have met in the hobby, they enjoy more the painting side than the playing side. So I guess it's even less common to find a competitive woman. But yeah, we have, you are an example, and I know Ergo Queen is also quite a good example of competitive woman. So the next is Kristen. And yeah, here we have some models painted by Kristen. This looks like Lord of the Rings. Is this Eowyn? I don't know too much about Lord of the Rings, to be fair. I don't know who is this woman either. So here we go. I'm really proud of the color scheme I got for these elves. I managed to capture the ones from the movies really well, which can be a challenge. I love the aesthetic of Peter Jackson's elven battle equipment. As a teenager, I was super into Lord of the Rings and quite artistic. So when I went into Games Workshop one day thinking it was a video game shop and I saw these cool miniatures, I decided I have to go at them. The biggest thing I've noticed is that the Games Workshop stores are just so uninviting. I feel like an alien when I go in there. Literally everything stops, customers and staff alike. And it's just a really weird beef. It's just not a great experience. For many people that it's the first step into the hobby. And I think to really grow the audience, the first step is to revamp the in-store experience. Yeah, this can happen. I don't know why. Normally the staff is also stopping when I go into the shop, because the staff is coming to me, ask me what I wanted, or if they was looking something. And yeah, normally they try to do this to welcome people, but the best thing when this happens normally is to tell the people that you prefer that they don't look at you. In some hobbies, you can get a lot of negativity around women and their accomplishments, but the reception online in Middle-earth communities has been great. I think it's just the kind of people that like Lord of the Rings. Really, you are a good folk. And I think in Warhammer as well, but I guess but okay. Yeah, I can understand that sometimes the people just stare a new coming person, because these stores are normally like a club. So when someone is new and entering the shop, sometimes people just look who is this new person that just came into the store. Normally, if I'm in the shop playing, most of the time I don't even realize when people come into or get out. Just when they come to me and ask me questions. But I'm not the staff, so the staff have to be there to ask questions to the people that comes into, I guess. Okay, well, I can understand that you feel too much observed sometimes. It happens, I think it happens everywhere, and when you are the new person that coming into place, people just look at this new person that just arrived and try to know, especially if it's like because the stores is like a club. Yeah, especially in Europe. I don't know was in Europe or in North America, but at least here in Europe, you always see normally the same type of people, or the same people there. So when a new person is coming into, normally people looks, oh, what is this about? Who is this new person? And sometimes it even happens in some of the clubs. Okay, but yeah, I guess if you go more than once and it always happens the same, it's I understand the first time. I will say the second or third time maybe it should not happen. But yeah, who knows? Let's go to these are the conclusions from the person doing this article. This is from Ben Sledge. And yeah, he's just, I guess he put in the conclusion. So say different people have different experiences in the hobby and they do in life. But it's interesting to see how the hobbyists who are in a minority approach Warhammer and how they interact with miniatures that don't always fairly represent them. Oh, and a community that sometimes struggles to even speak to them. Okay, I hope I don't feel represented by the Skaven, or I don't need to feel represented by any of my miniatures. I play my miniatures because they are not representing me. They are representing armies, they are representing fantasy. I'm not a dragon, I'm not a Skaven. I'm not a Space Marine either, or Chaos Space Marine. So my first army was Chaos Space Marine. It's not because they represent me. I'm not chaotic. I'm not willing to hate people. I'm just play them because I find interesting the miniatures. So I don't know why representing you is important in the game. And community that sometimes struggles to even speak to them. So to who? So evidently some players have less of a problem with it than others, but that doesn't mean it's not there. But if you play in science fiction games, how you want to feel represented in a science fiction game or in a fantasy games? So if we have to do things that represent people, yeah, then you have to play the 20th century, not the Warhammer 40k that is in the it's in the 14th millennium, right? This is quite a strange thing for me of the 41st millennium, to be fair. Okay, very weird conclusions, because on top, that this, I guess he have to be linked with what the woman said. No woman have said anything like that. The miniatures and attitudes of Warhammer are slowly coming into the 21st century to represent and include everyone who plays. Here, I don't know why this person has an obsession that we have to feel represented by the miniatures. Although any of the woman was asking for that, they are one of the minorities, but I will say I don't play any army because I feel represented with that army. There's still way to go, but things are improving, especially for new players. The immediate future of Warhammer holds brand new and eagerly anticipated Sisters of Battle miniatures. So he's just saying that he wants more women on the games, okay? I guess this is what she's saying. Oh, who are all female order of fighting space nuns. It's not space nuns, just they are religious, and perhaps that's just the start. To be fair, I have no clue what this conclusion is coming from. And this is one thing that I am struggling. So I will say all the comments from the woman are very rational, are very make sense. Most of them, you can be agree or disagree. Most of them, okay. But then it comes this guy talking, try to help the woman, and I think it's not helping to anybody. It's not even helping the hobby. Why you want to feel represented? Why feeling represented is so important. The only woman that talk about the representation or talk about the minis is just the first woman that say that sometimes Games Workshop have crossed the line, I guess, on the dressing and showing too much boobs or making them too voluptuous, right? But apart of that, none of the women complain about the miniatures aesthetics or the miniature and the miniature representation. I don't think if we put more women, there will be more women buying miniatures. I don't think even launching the Sisters of Battle will drag more women into the hobby. To be fair, I have no clue what this conclusion is coming from on this article, and I think is, I would say here, the only comment from a man in this article is completely out of place. I will agree more or less on the other woman. I think most of the women that have told here makes very good points. Sometimes points that maybe we have to improve and we have to do better. I like that most of the women have feel supported. Even the last one that did not feel welcoming on the Games Workshop store, she feels supported on the community online, on the Lord of the Rings. I think most of the women, even the ones that, maybe the most critical one, the Nova, she feel that sometimes the people is not taking her too seriously, but yeah, once you are beat by her, I guess you take her more seriously. But this last point of the article for me makes no sense at all. Why you have to feel represented on your miniatures? I don't understand this point. If he just wants female Space Marines, just show up the head. To be fair, my Space Marines, you will not know if they are female or male because most of them have helmets, so you don't know who is inside of Space Marines. And I will expect that the armor for a female and male Space Marine is the same. We will have the Sisters of Battle. If he's complaining that Sisters of Battle have not been revamped until 2019 and have been for a long time that the community is asking for that, yeah, I agree. I don't think this is nothing to do between female or male. I think this is just because Games Workshop was not seeing benefit on, or was not seeing enough benefit to relaunch Sisters of Battle, or because the Games Workshop have other things in the agenda. I don't think they did that because they say, no, I don't want to add females in my lineup, because we have seen also the Sisters of Cain, a complete female army, and we have seen as well the Sylvaneth that have a lot of female characters, and the three men, you don't know if they are male or female. They are twists, so they don't have sex in principle, or they can have both sex at the same time. Yeah, I don't know. Here the Tyranids, you can discuss which sex they are. The same for the Tau. I think in the Tau on top there is one of the heroes that is clearly a female. But another army will put an example, Skaven. Which sex the Skaven have? Nobody knows. Okay, they can be female or male rats, and you can put the imagination that you want. You can put the name that you like it to them. So yeah, I think it's an interesting article. For me, it was very interesting to read the opinion of all these women. It's sometimes good to see how other people see the hobby from a different perspective. I think this is always something that is very important. what is putting me out of place is the last comment on this article that is not coming from any of the women. And that's all for now. So please let in the comments below. Let me know what do you think. Let me know if you know about this article before I share it here in the video. I just wanted to read because I think it's also interesting to see how other people see the hobby. And yeah, and maybe I will go more for this type of opinion. It's always interesting to see how, as I said, how other people see the hobby from different angles, from different social situations, or even between male and female is played. To be fair, I will treat anybody equally. I will try to be supportive with any person. Does not matter if it's a woman, man, black, yellow, or any color that you want, even if it's blue. Just a joke. To be fair, I'm here to support anybody that wants to approach the hobby in a good way, in a constructive way, and wants to keep adding to this community. I think this community is awesome. We have a lot of people. We are coming from very different countries, from very different backgrounds, and I think hobby is something that that are joining all us together. So that's all for now. I hope you have liked this video. Please leave in the comments below your opinion. Let me know what do you think about the article. And as usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.